So far.
And that was all the old AOL sound.
Yeah, so I remember when hail.
There's another one just coming in.
It's bitter cold, he said it's -20 and getting a lot of snow.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the January 10th meeting of the East Hempfield Township Planning Commission. Please join me in opening the meeting with a pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening, one of our regular members is absent, so I've asked Mr. Rush to be the voting member this evening. The first item on the agenda is reorganization for the commission. First position will be for the chairperson. Are there any nominations for chairperson?
I will nominate Jim Fullerton as chair.
Okay, Jim Fullerton is nominated for chair. Are there any other nominations? Okay, hearing none, I'll close the nominations and ask for a vote. All those in favor of Jim Fullerton for chairperson signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, so that's, Mr. Fullerton will be the chairperson for this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, then I'll open the nominations for vice chair.
I'll nominate Brett Detter as vice chair.
Brett Detter for vice chairman, chairperson. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? Hearing none, I'll close the nominations and ask for a vote. All those in favor of Brett Detter for vice chairperson signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That would be unanimous, and Brent is.
Yeah, you gotta get the N's. Brent.
It's all right. I've been that my whole life.
That's all right. Between you and the representative, I get mixed up. Okay, next is the office of secretary. I'll open the nominations.
Mr. Chairman, I'll nominate Ann Byrne as secretary.
Ann Byrne for secretary. Are there any other nominations for secretary? Hearing none, nominations are closed. I'll take a vote. All those in favor of Ann Byrne for secretary signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That would also be unanimous, so Ann will be our secretary for this year. All right, moving on to the next agenda item is the approval of minutes from the December 13th meeting. Are there any additions or corrections?
I have a correction. On the president, I have my name listed twice.
Can't hear you.
You have my name listed twice as present.
Yeah, I'll fix that. Microphone. She doesn't get double pay.
Split person.
Yeah, you got that. I got you.
Yeah, we could.
Will the real Ann Byrne please stand up?
Are there any other corrections or additions? Okay, if there's no other corrections or additions, I'll take a motion to approve the amended minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as corrected.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mrs. Byrne, seconded by Mr. Rohr, that we approve the minutes from the December 13th meeting with the correction of Mrs. Byrne's name listed only once. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So that would be unanimous, 7-0.
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay, 6-0-1 then. That was because of absence, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, the action item for this evening is the Meadow Gardens Mercantile final plan with some waivers and modifications.
Evening, Steve Gergley, Harbor Engineering. This might be a short meeting for you guys. We were here with a sketch plan a few months ago. This is 543 Champ Boulevard. It's at the northwest corner of Champ Boulevard and 283, kind of across from Spooky Nook. 15 acres. It has the Comfort Suites Hotel, which is an 80-room hotel, and an existing farmhouse residence which was formerly used as an event center, and that's no longer the case. It's just being used as a residence by one of the owners of the property, Rob Fisher, who was here at one of the last meetings. We've since submitted the land development plan, been through a couple of rounds with David Miller Associates. It's basically a small garden retail center with some small greenhouses by Roar's Seeds. It's going to be called the Meadow Garden Mercantile. So a few small buildings, an enclosed area, handicap parking space. This is in an area that was already over-designed for stormwater. So the basins on this site were over-designed. So we had submitted some calculations to show that these small improvements aren't going to negatively impact the stormwater facilities on the site. And that's really about it. It's a very simple plan, a very simple land development plan. We're asking for 3 modifications, all of which are being recommended for approval, one of which is a waiver of plan scale. We have a couple of sheets that show the site. To show the site in its entirety, we have a larger plan scale on a couple of sheets. We're asking for a modification of showing existing surveyed features within 200 feet of the tract, and a waiver of having a second means of egress and ingress to the site for emergency access purposes. So the way that this site lays out, there's limited road frontage, there's a pretty large floodplain and wetlands area, and there's an existing shared access into the site. And Diane Garber reviewed that and recommended that modification for approval under the circumstances. That we would ask for action on the modifications and conditional plan approval. And happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Just reading the description about that third modification there. It says non-residential land developments generating more than 500 average daily trips. You expect that many at this facility?
No, but if this qualifies because of the hotel is an existing use with 80 rooms. So if you look at like the traffic study that we had prepared when we did the land development plan for that in 2015.
They get added into your business.
Yeah, this use in particular, we did submit a small trip generation summary for this, and this increase is very minor, but it's because of the hotel use. If this was standalone, that wouldn't be a requirement.
Okay. Thanks. Are there any questions by the commission, either here or on Zoom?
Zoom.
Is there anybody from the public with comments on the Zoom?
None.
None, okay. Then I think we're ready for motions.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the modification waiver requests numbers 1 through 3 for the Meadow Garden Mercantile final plan project, subject to all staff and engineering comments.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Detter, seconded by Mr. Culdus, that we recommend approval of modifications 1, 2, and 3 for the Meadow Garden Mercantile final plan, subject to staff and engineer comments. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So it sounds like it's unanimous, 7-0. And then for the plan.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the final land development plan for the Meadow Garden Mercantile project, subject to all staff and engineering review comments.
I'll second it.
Again, we have a motion by Mr. Detter, seconded by Mr. Culdus. We recommend approval of the final plan for the Meadow Garden Mercantile, subject to staff and engineer comments. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? So that would be unanimous.
Thanks. Have a good evening.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Yeah.
Was there any old business?
None.
Were there any questions about the project update? Any? And there's no public comment?
No comment, no.
No business to hear? We will close this meeting, adjourn this meeting.
Is that the
We're off
record?
and
Got
running.
the record?
Yeah.
That's close.
108.
It's close.
That's
Oh,
close.
108,
Yeah.
the record?
108 is the record.
after
Was-
instead of.
Thinking we were gonna
It's
be,
109.
yeah,
She thinks the record's
108.
It could be. It could be. I know it was fast. And we had voting.
We had
So I
reorganization.
can't
That took
believe
a
it.
while.
Can't believe it.
Would have been a record. It wasn't January.
108, 108.